So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Keir Starmer's statements recently in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Him saying the Prime Minister is the biggest obstacle to protocol progress. Article out on the 9th of June, which, Starmer isn't wrong here, let's be honest. The UK Labour leader Keir Starmer said Boris Johnson is the single biggest obstacle to the EU and Britain making progress on their post-Brexit relationship. I've been saying that for a while now, it's true. Speaking during a visit to Dublin, he was struck by the lack of trust in the British Prime Minister, which, why would they trust him? It's not a surprise they don't trust him. No one should. The DUP don't even trust him. Mr. Starmer also told RTE's 6-1 News that he did not think the UK government should introduce legislation to override the protocol. Again, that's going to happen on day of recording this. He says there's a way forward here and it's based on trust that is in short supply with this Prime Minister, and to be fair, the EU don't trust him, which is true. This legislation is further proof of why no one should trust the British government. It does not adhere to its word, let's put it that way. Starmer added, I've been struck here in Dublin, I've been struck when I was in Belfast, it sounds like someone's attacked him physically, by the lack of trust in the Prime Minister that, the parties in Dublin, in Ireland, don't trust him. The people in Northern Ireland don't trust him. The DUP, Sinn Féin, all of these parties, they do not trust the Prime Minister. It's just wild that he's managed to cultivate such a untrustworthy reputation. And that is the single biggest obstacle to progress here. The DUP are going as far as to say they won't allow Stormont to be reopened until the legislation is actually used, which is crazy. That's how little trust they have in the government. That they don't care if it's published. They don't care if the changes to the protocol in domestic law, the breach of international law, essentially the bits that allow it are put into place. They want that legislation to be used. That's how little faith they have. Asked how the Labour Party would react to the legislation, Starmer said, I don't think they should introduce the legislation. I think it's quite possible with the protocol to make it work. Of course, there are some difficulties with it, which most people will accept. There are difficulties with it. He says, I understand that, but what's required is statecraft, negotiation, trust, hard work around the negotiating table. Mostly buzzwords here, but he says that the legislation is not the way, which is good, but again, a lot of buzzwords here and, not a lot of solutions, should I say. Earlier, the UK opposition leader accused Johnson of taking a wrecking ball to relationships with Ireland and the EU over the unilateral plans to scrap the protocol, saying, we've faced bigger problems than this. With good faith, statecraft, we can get around it. But again, what else are you going to do, pal? Through negotiation, you can get somewhere, but what kind of changes would you make? Starmer said there are challenges, and the Labour Party starts with the principle that we believe that to always uphold the Good Friday Agreement, which is true, but the problem is the Tories are also the ones saying they are the upholders of the Good Friday Agreement. We know it's a lie, but you really need to differentiate that. And he says we believe in and will abide by international law. And what the Tories are arguing is that the Good Friday Agreement takes precedent over the protocol, which is somewhat true. The only problem is that the protocol supports the Good Friday Agreement. It doesn't undermine it. That's a key problem the Tories have. They cannot square that circle. But he's made some good statements here, very beige though. He said Johnson is doing everything he can to save his own skin rather than focusing on the issue here. He's very much added DUP and Stormont into his culture war, Johnson has. And what that means is that he's using the Northern Ireland Protocol and Stormont as a weapon against the EU in order to keep support within the Tory party and with the base of his party, which he's not doing well in. Starmer goes on to say flexibility on both sides so we can overcome the remaining problems, but again the EU have shown flexibility. They're not going to go past the October proposals by the looks of it, and so the question is, would Starmer accept the October proposals or what happens from there? They got a nice picture of him with his face in Guinness. The only problem is that the camera focused on Starmer above the thing. He's looking a bit healthier nowadays though, which is great. I think he's lost some weight since the pandemic, which I wish I could say the same. We've got this statement from Ivana Bakic. I'm going to say her name's pronounced like that. If I'm wrong, then fair play. Miss Bakic said the Irish Labour Party wanted a united Ireland, and this is where it gets quite interesting, her statements, which is, but now the people of Northern Ireland deserve better than to have their democracy and their democratic institutions used as a bargaining chip by the British government. And that's a really great statement that she's saying, yes, we wanted a united Ireland, but right now the people in Northern Ireland deserve far better, rather than using it as a point of saying, look, this is why you should rejoin with Ireland, because, you know, we're not going to treat you like that. She's saying the people in Northern Ireland right now deserve better, and that for me is a good statement right there. I don't think there's anything more I want to cover. Nope. This is all just kind of about Tory rebellion and all that kind of stuff. So the keys of this article, which is that, you know, it's very clear that Starmer, he wants the protocol to work. He's going to go against the legislation the government is trying to pass. He's very clear that he supports the Good Friday Agreement as do the Labour Party, which is great. Doesn't really say what he would do differently, which is annoying for me, but, you know, that's just going to be a problem that I have. Overall, decent statements, you know, especially the bit about trust is really important, that, you know, people in Dublin, people in Belfast do not trust Boris Johnson. You can't have a Prime Minister that's not trusted by anyone. No, I don't think his own wife even trusts him, which is crazy, but especially when they only just got married recently. But, you know, let me know what you think of Starmer's statements, beige, but, you know, fair. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.